We're here to give back and celebrate iWarriors. This is our 8th annual iWarriors golf outing. Let's hear it for 8 years. What is iWarriors? We're here because of iWarriors. iWarriors was started by Kim and Tim Bartz from Moldcraft. Amazing people. Their influence and application in the industry is amazing. And they decided that they wanted to give back. They had a vision of helping our military and what that would look like. And their way of doing that was to give iPads to combat wounded veterans to say thank you. There are over 25 sponsors for this event, including Molded Marketing LLC, Punch Industry, Inco, Mold Making Technology, United Tool and Mold, Durachrome, NGN, Legacy Precision Molds, Mastic, Pulco, Joseph Monica and Associates, Cimatron, SPE Mold Technologies Division, Reaction Plastic Solutions, AMBA, Slide Products, Standard Cutting Solutions, Chandler Tool, International Mold Steel, Falcon Plastics, and Westminster Tool, and that is... You know, if you've ever been to this outing, you know that this is not about the score, it's not about winning, it's not about any of that. Remember that you're out here for a reason other than golf. You're out here to network, you're out here to have fun, and more importantly, you're out here to give back to those veterans. Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to the Manufacturing Alliance podcast. As always, I'm your host, Tony DeMakos with Alliance Specialties and Alliance Laser Sales, where we are mold makers that don't build molds. We do all the other things that you, the mold maker, need. Polishing, laser welding, laser engraving, hot runner repair, preventative mold maintenance, all of those things in one location. Well, 2 locations to be exact, but they're right next door to each other. And that means that your jobs are safe. It means that we can control the timelines. It means that there's less liability going out. We take on all the responsibility. All we want to do is help you to have success. So will you let us help you? It would be great if you would. I would really appreciate it. On top of that, we also build and sell laser welding and laser engraving equipment here in the United States. That's important because American made matters. There is a huge difference when it comes to the quality, when it comes to the responsibility, when it comes to being able to get service and training and all those different things. And we are here for you. Our team here in Prairie Grove, Illinois are building the machines, which means if you ever have a problem or a question, you're getting the answers from the engineers and the people that actually build the equipment. It's not just somebody sitting behind a binder waiting for you to say the right buzzwords so that they can go to that tab and give you the answer that they think that you need. It's the people that are actually building the equipment, hands-on, ready to help you with all the questions that you have. And so if you would like to schedule a demo, we'd love to come out there and do that with you with all of our laser welding and laser engraving equipment. And when you make a purchase, a portion of that sale will go to the Tim Tebow Foundation to help end human trafficking. As you saw in that video, we care very, very much about giving back to the community and to people. And one of those is the iWarriors golf outing that is coming up next Friday. I can't believe it's here already, but it is next Friday. We are still looking for, I think, 2 foursomes of golfers, not many. It's all going to be booked out. I'm very confident in that. We're going to have over 150 people playing golf and having fun. We're going to have volunteers on different holes having games and drinks and all kinds of stuff. So if you don't play golf, but you like to network, you like to have fun, you want to support our veterans, this is the right outing for you. You don't have to play golf. There's actually not much golf, like real golf, that's being played. It's actually a complete and total mockery to golf. But we have fun doing it and we network. And every year we raise money for our combat wounded veterans by providing iPads for them so that they can talk to their loved ones when they're in the hospital and they're receiving therapy. There are special apps. Special apps on the iPad for PTSD and brain exercises, different things. And so if you would like to be part of the event, go to alliancegolfouting.com or click on use the QR code to get there. We are still looking for some more sponsors. If you can donate anything, it helps make a difference for our combat wounded veterans. And that's really what we want to do. After that, we have the Plastics Conference coming up, the National Plastics Association Conference, September 22nd through the 25th in Orlando, Florida. That's going to be a great time there as well. Can't wait to see the whole crew, find out what's going on in the areas of sustainability and new products and all of it down the line, tariffs and manufacturing, the global landscape and all those different things. Lots of presentations, good leaders. Find out what's going on in the industry that you work and play in. Why not? We're even going to be going to Epcot, which is going to be a good time, and doing the beer tour across the world and the whole 9 yards. Great people, great hanging out, great information. So come out and join us for that. And then right after that, September 30th through October 1st is Med Device Boston. It's an MD&M event. And it's going to be a great time where you get to go and see what is actually going to be happening. What needs are there in the med device community? There's going to be expert-led technical sessions, hands-on workshops. You can test drive equipment and use the technologies for yourself, whether that's 3D printing, laser welding, laser engraving, you name it. It's all going to be there. There's going to be regulatory and compliance tracks, growth and investment, talking about different technologies. There's a ton of time for networking. And some of the greatest speakers. There's going to be chief safety officers from Johnson & Johnson, the CCO from Best Buy Health, executives from Boston Scientific. And all of that is going to be coming to Boston. It's going to be a great time, September 30th through October 1st. We're going to be there showing off some of our newest laser welding and laser engraving equipment. And we're going to be doing some podcasts along the way. So a lot of fun stuff to be doing there. And we hope that you come out and then you join us and you're part of that fun. If that sounds like a lot of things, you might need some extra energy. If that's you, get yourself some shop floor coffee. Shop floor coffee is what I've heard the best coffee for shops. I don't drink coffee. I'm being totally transparent about that. If I told you it was the best, I would be a liar. That's not me. But I have heard a lot of people enjoy it. I've never seen anybody complain, and the lines go down the hallways when we are at the expos and shop floor coffee is there. So if you want to treat your team to something better than, Folgers or, some of that other swill that a lot of people have, go check out shopfloorcoffee.com. They like giving back to different charities as well when people make purchases. So you can go and put in the coupon code ALL10 for 10% off your order, and you can support a good dude who's making good products. And that's it. That's all I got to say for now. If you like what you're hearing, please say hello to us. Put it in the chat. Put it in the comments. We do the show live on purpose, not because we never make mistakes, but because when we do, we want somebody to call us out. And there's nothing worse than when you're listening to something and you keep thinking like, I wish they would ask this question. I wonder if they're going to get to this topic. I want to know about this. Well, now, if that's how you feel when you're listening to us talk about all things US manufacturing and what that looks like, you can just put that in the chat and we will answer the question. It works that easy. We are here to bring you some information, entertain you, and have some fun along the way. So I am going to bring in my guest today. I'm excited because it's somebody I've never talked to. We talked for like 3 minutes before we're starting here. But it's going to be a good conversation, I think. His name is George Williams. He is the Chief Executive Officer and founder of ReliabilityX. He has over 30 years of experience in life sciences and food manufacturing industries. He's got a master's degree in maintenance and reliability engineering management. He's certified in vibration analysis, infrared thermography, ultrasound, motion amplification. He's certified maintenance and reliability professional, certified reliability leader. He's got his CRL Black Belt, Uptime Award winner, Solutions Award winner, 2016 CMRP of the Year recipient, well-recognized thought leader, change agent, speaker, teacher within the industry. He teaches courses as part of the University of Wisconsin's Maintenance and Reliability Management Certificate Program, and his name is George Williams, and he's got a lot more credibility than I do. So let's bring in George. George, how the heck are you, my friend?
I'm doing good, Tony. You need to take a breath in between that one.
Well, sometimes there's not a time to take a breath. You look at all the things that you got to say and get to all at once, and woo.
I really appreciate being here. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, I'm excited. I think it's going to be a great conversation like we were talking about before. I like that we don't know each other. I mean, by the end of it, we'll know each other. I'm not saying like, I'm glad we've never met. I'm just saying it's fun to be able to talk to people that I don't know, because you don't know what that conversation is going to bring. So I appreciate you being on the show, taking a chance and having a conversation with us, not necessarily knowing what you're going to get, but here we go.
Let's do it.
Yeah. So George, let's chat quickly, or get into a little bit of the nuts and bolts. ReliabilityX is a very cool name. What does it mean and what do you guys do?
Yeah, so ReliabilityX, our tag underneath is the DNA of success, right? So the X is kind of representative of our double helix. So it's not really like an X factor kind of thing. So we are a maintenance and reliability consultancy, very different than most. So we typically go into manufacturing plants that have opportunity to improve capacity, and we teach them how to sustainably do that. So we go into plants whose OEE is 50, 60, sometimes 40, and we get them as close to design rate as we possibly can and implement sustainable solutions that allow them to sustain that result ongoing.
Okay. And how long have you been doing that?
So let's see. I've been doing it most of my career, but with ReliabilityX 2019. So I quit my day job 2019 and have been doing that ever since.
Nice. Do you find that there are a lot of companies that are sitting and working well below that marker?
Almost all of them. So look, it's the easiest way to explain it. We engineer and design equipment to perform X number of units a minute, some
sure
output or yield. And everything we do as humans can mess that up.
Truth.
Whether it's leadership making decisions, right? Like we bought a Ferrari, but we think we can apply the Toyota budget to achieve the Ferrari performance, and it doesn't work that way. Or we end up doing other processes we think are going to make a result, or we give procurement an objective to save some money so they buy cheaper cargo. All that can mess up the reliability of the asset that we invested money in. And our goal is to teach holistic reliability across the plan and how everybody impacts that reliable performance, right? You purchase the asset for a reason, and you've expected it to deliver on that value proposition. We go back after that value proposition.
Okay. And So people, they have to know that they're falling behind in their productivity in order for them to call you.
Wow, interesting. Not always. The hardest part about what we do is the initial engagement, is getting a plant manager through no fault of their own. Many of them have come up through those organizations. They were a good worker, so they became a supervisor. They got no training in how to supervise people. They were a good supervisor. They figured it out on their own. They became a plant manager. No training in how to develop budget, no training, no formalized education in how to do any of those things. And they've never looked outside of the four walls of the company that they're working within. So they don't necessarily know there are other ways to do things. And they've done fantastic with what they know. And so when we come into a plant, we tell them we can, in some cases, double their output. It's pretty much there's no way you're going to be able to do that scenario.
Right. And, so what you're saying is a lot of people fall into that bucket of, we do it this way because it's the way we've always done it.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, that is absolutely true.
One of the worst, most dangerous answers you can ever give, right?
Yeah, for sure. And it's not only that, you're in some cases dealing with people who have been very successful in that space. And so, Einstein said ego is won over knowledge, right? And so if they lack knowledge but are successful, typically the ego goes up, right? So we have to deal with grounding people into what is possible with a different thought process.
Have you found people are, I know in my life I haven't. Have you found people are eager to make those changes? How do you prove to them that, the way that we're presenting this could bring you more success than the way that you continue to do it?
Yeah, it's about giving good experiences. People have to experience a success using those different methodologies. So when we structure an improvement process within a plan, it is very prescriptive in the types of things we will do that make sure we get good experiences. Let's face it, if you're trying to evolve an entire culture, that doesn't happen in 3 weeks. People often call us and they say, this machine was designed to do 50 units a minute and we can't get any more than X, 30 units a minute out of it. Can you come help us get it back up and running? And that's a temporary solution they've done 1,000 times by having the OEM out and resetting the machine back to baseline. Yet 3 months later, it goes right back to being all out of whack and out of center line because they don't have the process structure and cultural evolution to keep it the way it's supposed to be. And so that's the challenge. That's really the challenge is don't touch it.
Well, we see that. We see that all the time with some of our laser welding equipment where, we go in, we do a full training. We show people how to do all the things that they need to do. We'll help them assign settings and save them within the equipment. Show them where the fume extractor has to go. We do all the stuff, right? We spend a whole day doing training, walking people through it. And inevitably people call and they go, this isn't doing what it's supposed to do. I can't run it at full power for 3 hours. And you're like, well, why would you think you could, right? Like you can't redline. You can go buy a Corvette. You cannot redline it for 3 hours. You can't drive from here to, Macomb, Illinois at 150 miles an hour the whole time. Yeah. It's just not going to work. It's not what the machine was engineered for. You'll have people and say, I know that I should probably use a fume extractor, but I don't want to turn it on. It's just me breathing it in. It's like, okay, one, that should be enough. It's you breathing it in. The other part of it is when you're making those little clouds of soot and things, the laser can't penetrate through that. So you are going to lose power. You need to pull all of that stuff away. That's why it's there. That's the way the machine was designed and engineered. And it's hard to get people to realize that you know what you're talking about and that there is a right way to do certain things.
Yeah, we have a client right now that's got a multivac tray sealer that they built a new facility and didn't bring the chiller over for it. And they thought, well, we'll just use the cold tap water. And they worked their eyes. Like, you need the chiller. It's costly. Well,
Yeah.
the price was more costly, wasn't it?
Yeah, and the thing is, like, if you don't use those things, if you don't do it the way that it was intended to be done, it's gonna be more costly.
You've got 3 choices. You got 3 choices in reliability. You purchase the asset. The decision of what it takes to reliably operate, you made when you bought it.
Mm,
Whether you bought the Ferrari or the Toyota or a Land Rover, the 3 different choices, 3 different amounts of what it will take to make that function to its optimal performance. And you made it when you bought it.
yeah.
And then you only have 3 choices. You can spend way more than you're supposed to, have reliability, but a lot of waste. You can not spend enough, have higher costs, and be unreliable, or you can figure out how to balance cost and risk.
Mm,
That's it. And so, obviously, you want to balance cost and risk.
yeah. I was gonna say, of those 3, where do you find most people sitting before you come in to talk with them?
How many companies do you know that do not have a cost-cutting goal?
Just none.
Now, how many About Us websites have you gone to and seen a cost-cutting goal?
None.
Interesting.
Yeah. Yeah. That's truth.
That you go to the About www.insertyourcompanyname.com/about us, you will see profitability, whether it's to shareholders or whatever. You'll see quality or customer.
Yep.
You'll see safety. You'll see employee engagement. You'll see the community. You'll see the environment. You will not see we will be the best at cutting cost.
Hmm.
Yet everybody internally has a cost cutting goal. Meanwhile, their actual goal is profit. So now if you're sitting in a room and leadership is saying we have to cut cost, we need you to find cost savings. Do you look to become more profitable or do you look to cut things?
I mean, you should look to become more profitable.
Right, but the way it's structured and the way it's communicated is go find savings.
Right.
It is not the same as go make us more profitable. What we do as a company and go into a plant is we unlock capacity to make you more profitable,
Okay.
which is not the same as cutting.
And in a lot of cases, when somebody says that, what they're looking for, well, the easy thing people do is they look at people as the cost cutting measure, which
Yeah.
is the hardest thing to put back. I mean,
It's not only that, it's next to nothing. So when we think about, I'll just give you an example.
yeah.
Actual client, they're producing 60 million pounds of this product a year with a 2030 goal of about 120 million pounds. So they got to double output of the
Okay.
plant. They want to spend $6 million on some robots to alleviate about 8 positions on the back end palletizing. They're going to spend $6 million to eliminate 8 $50,000 a year positions.
Yeah.
And not have the technical skill sets in-house to take care of those robots. So not only do you have the acquisition cost, you have the ongoing maintenance cost, you have the fact that you now have to get a skill set you currently don't have. Where's the ROI? It's not 3 years.
Right.
Not in that particular instance. There are certainly lots of places where automation's the right thing, and I'm not knocking automation, but sometimes we do it just because it's the shiny thing we want on our resume and not because it made good business sense.
Mm-hmm. And you have those people that need those positions, right? So that's if you don't take the human element out of it, where people need jobs and they need positions. And I agree with you. I'm not poo pooing automation. I think automation has its place in those difficult, dangerous jobs, where robots and automation can replace people, and you take the people and you put them in better positions, or you train them on how to use the robots.
Right. Exactly. Yeah, no doubt. 1,000%. It's interesting. It's interesting two aspects. One, cost to produce includes the direct labor that's sitting there making the product, but it doesn't include corporate overhead. So when everybody says cut, we got a lower cost to produce, they don't mean themselves in the office.
No.
Because they don't count as that as part of that, interestingly enough. The second piece is they oftentimes neglect the folks that are on the shop floor, as either not being trainable or coachable or lack intelligence, which is just crazy to me because all the great ideas come from there. If you want to go improve your plant, the first thing you should do is just sit everybody in a room and say, what makes your job harder?
Mm,
If you make those things go away, the plant's going to run better, period.
yeah. And you don't need to bring experts in for that. You just need to be willing to ask the questions
And take actions. You
Yeah.
got to make it like everybody out, like companies do research and development on what products they want to make. Then they acquire assets and pay humans to operate and maintain that equipment to produce the product. That's
Yeah.
it. Everybody else is a support function, whether they want to hear it or not.
It's interesting, isn't it? Like you have a lot of people that will pay a consultant, pay ReliabilityX, pay somebody to come in and tell them what they need to do differently, when they have a staff of people who would probably be willing to give some suggestions on what they might be able to do differently.
You can,
But a
you,
lot of times they don't want to hear it from internal. We have this problem of ego where we don't want to have anybody criticize us or tell us what we're doing wrong. Even though they're walking in it every single day, we would rather pay an outsider to come in and tell us what we're doing wrong when it's the same information.
and they don't feel the pain, right? And this is certainly not inclusive of all leaders, but many of them don't walk the plant floor or say hello to people.
Mm.
And that communication is incredibly valuable and allows people to see the pain, understand the pain, and make the pain go away, which ultimately makes your plant run better.
Yeah. And that's a hard thing too, though, because you have to, for whatever reason, sometimes there is a barrier of trust, and a line that, sometimes guys on the shop floor don't want to cross. For instance, I mean, I have an open door policy here, unless we have a podcast going on like right now. I
Right.
tell everybody, I want to know what's going on. Let me know what's happening. Let me know if you have any questions, if you have any issues. I'm not saying I'm the greatest at it. That's not my point. But inevitably I'll hear a story from somebody else that says, hey, did so-and-so come and talk to you? They have this question on this, or they think about that. And I'm like, no. Like, oh, I don't know why they don't want to come talk to you about that. I'm like, I don't know either, but I'm here. And
Right.
so I think on that side, you can only do so much as a leader if you don't have people that are going to come and talk to you about what they're actually needing and what that looks like.
So I'm conflicted on that. So
I like it.
In my opinion, you've got people that, as you indicated, need that position.
Mm-hmm.
And leadership will go to the plant floor, even when they go to the plant floor, and they'll go, how's everything going? And that person does not want to say they're having problems because they need the position.
Yeah.
It's the onus is on leadership to build a connection where those people feel comfortable to make that communication. It is far too many times we see people where that matters to them. They're a single mother raising a couple of kids at home, or whatever the case may be. That position means the world to them. And somebody walks the shop floor and goes, are you struggling today? They go, no way, not me. I'm not struggling. I'm good. Everything is good here. Thank you, sir, or ma'am. And let's move on.
Yeah.
The onus on building a relationship where the employees are comfortable enough to tell you there's a minor thing that results in lost product has to exist. And the onus is on leadership to build that comfort level.
Yeah. I would agree with that. Sometimes I feel like I'll just speak for me. I feel like I've put it out there. I've done the things that I think I know how to do to build that trust. And I don't know where to go from there.
Yeah.
And I think there's a lot of leaders that probably feel that way. They don't rule with an iron fist, that they're trying to take care of their team and listen when they have to listen when they can listen, when they're allowed to listen, offer advice and encouragement. And sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't.
Sometimes they're just overwhelmed, right? As critical as it is to be on the floor and to develop those relationships, they're in 15 meetings a day. They've got 30 projects that have been dumped on them by corporate in addition to the things they have going on in the plant. And so prioritization of what matters to the plant is incredibly important.
Yeah.
And and having a rigid protective mentality for the plant's best interest matters. But again, even that position, they need the position potentially. So when corporate's saying, I need you to do these 75 other things, meanwhile, the plant's missing on order delivery, you've got to be able to stick up for your plant. You've got to be able to do the right things for your plant. You got to be comfortable doing that.
No, I love it. I love it. And I think you have those things going on all over there's a lot of overlap when that happens. It's never, in my experience, it's never just one thing.
Yep.
But a lot of times you have to figure out what the thing is behind the thing. Like we think it's this. Okay, but what is causing this? Like, let's take it a level down. And sometimes you go another level down and you have to fix like a couple of little things to get the major adjustments that you were hoping for.
Yeah, for sure. When we teach things like root cause analysis, you've got to get down to things that are latent and systemic issues, things that are issues across the organization. The one thing that broke yesterday, chasing that is never going to get you sustainable results. You've got to change the mindset, and you've got to dig deeper into why those actions are acceptable that are causing those problems, right? And that's you're exactly right.
Yeah, and sometimes people figure out workarounds, right? We know when we do this, we're supposed to do that. But we also found that if we do this, we can avoid that. And, there's these little loopholes that certain people have and they go through that they seem to work, but they're maybe not right. Where if you have a process in place that says, if this, then do that, right? If this, then that, then you can get the thing actually fixed the first time and move forward instead of the Band-Aid solutions.
I think there's a couple, the way we teach it and try to simplify things are, one, don't be the source of problems. That means do your work with quality and do it accurately. So if you have to put in visual management systems and teach your maintenance people how to do things with precision, don't ever be the self-source of issues. Secondly, always try to find issues against a standard. So you're inspecting things against a very specific standard. And if it's outside of tolerance, it's rejected or fixed. Meaning, in your case with those welders, they could be getting in a plate of material that's outside of tolerance by a mil or two, whatever the case may be.
Yep.
And that could cause problems in the machine. They call maintenance out. Maintenance is tweaking the machine because we allowed the poor incoming raw material to get into the line, right? So inspect things and make sure that your raw materials and the line itself is the way it's supposed to be. And then third, focused on optimization and continuous improvement. So don't be the source, find sources of problems and fix them and continually improve. Like, always have that mindset. If you do those three things, whether it's in maintenance or operations, you're going to be in good shape.
Yeah. I think that's great. We do our best to have certain processes for different things, right? We understand that processes make a big difference. If you have the right process, you can get through a lot of problems. If you just, stick to the process. And sometimes the process breaks down, or we'll bring a new person into the team. And they look at the process and they go, well, this, I did it this way at my other place. Have you guys ever thought of that? And sometimes we have, and sometimes we haven't. And one of the things that we've been trying to teach and coach is like, we're open to suggestions in all the areas and all the processes. But that doesn't necessarily mean we're going to listen to it or put it into practice. But we will listen and we'll have a conversation about it. But don't veer from the process on your own. Don't think that your way is better, so you're just going to do it. Let's sit down and have a conversation to make sure that everybody's following the same process.
Yep. So that's interesting. Without a process, it's hard to measure against things, and it's hard to hold people accountable to things.
Sure.
And so a standardized process allows you to do both of those things: measure against the success of the process, hold to the process if success isn't there, and hold people accountable to the individual process. And that's critical. But in order to do that, you've got to create organizational discipline to follow that process, right? So when you see folks that are attempting on their third time to put in 5S and they don't understand that 5S is really about organizational discipline,
right?
That becomes an issue. So, yeah.
And that's all of those things, they're so beneficial. 5S is super beneficial if you do it. right? Like you can spend a lot of time, effort, money, resources in halfway doing it. But if you don't understand why you're doing it, then you got problems, right?
Yeah, if you think it's just about putting tools away, that's not even close, right?
Yeah.
There's a whole piece of organizational discipline that's incredibly critical for that. I'm gonna fix my board while we talk.
Yeah. That's great. And it's a thing that like the why is so important.
Yeah.
Why are you doing the things that you're putting in place? It's not just because it looks pretty, right? When we're talking about 5S, it's because it takes us an hour to find a screwdriver, and you're losing time. There's your
Yeah.
do you want to cut costs? Do you want to increase profits? What does that look like? Well, if we can cut an hour out of looking for a screwdriver, well, then we're ahead of the game.
1000%.
Just make sure you put the screwdriver back. Then don't hoard it in your toolbox so you know where it is.
And that's how you create organizational discipline, right? It's really tough to implement a bunch of processes if you've not established organizational discipline. So you have to do that first. And then you implement the processes and you know that the organization is going to follow them because you've created the organizational discipline expectation and you can hold people accountable to it. Everybody tries to get there faster than you actually can.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to, oh, that's just too much work. Can't you just fix the machine? I can, but it's not gonna, client with a rotary bagger. This is a true story. Rotary bagger, designed to do the 50 units a minute, the most they actually altered the HMI to not allow a speed setting above 35. And they were only seeing 25 units a minute out of it. They've owned it for 8 years, has the OEM out every 6 months to redo the machine, and it still can't get it to run.
Okay.
We came in and we center lined it in 6 hours. It was running at 50 units a minute. Now, 2 weeks later, somebody touched it. Right back to messed up. So we had to work on the organizational discipline of how to troubleshoot. We put a whole troubleshooting guide together, taught all their maintenance and operations people about the machine and actually how it operates, because it's rotary cam with electronic cam timing. So it's a complicated piece of equipment. But if you align it properly and do things with precision, runs at 50 all day long. 2 weeks later, ran it at 50, gave everybody a training class. It's been running at 50 ever since.
Yeah. So when you say organizational discipline, what is that definition for you?
That means the ability to do the same thing repetitively to a set standard.
Okay. And do you find that there's a lot of organizations that don't want to get to that?
I don't know that they know how. I mean, they think 5S is about putting the tool away and making, having a visual board that looks pretty.
Sure.
And not necessarily the underlying reason behind why you do it. And it's the first step in the process because it creates organizational discipline, and you can't do any of the other steps if you haven't developed that yet. And so I think it's a matter of they don't fully understand what this takes. Right? I like NASCAR knows exactly how many laps every part's going to last.
Sure.
Because they're analyzing the data. They do things to a set standard, and you come in when you have to come in, and they replace parts when they have to be replaced based on a number of laps. And in work, that's not much different. We want to stretch everything and push PMs out and increase speeds above, run VFDs above 60 hertz and try to get more out of everything.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, getting less performance overall over time.
Yeah. So when you're looking at organizational discipline, that's probably the number one thing that you have to go in and preach on, I would guess.
So when we typically do this, we, as I mentioned earlier, give good experiences. So we let them fumble a little as a methodology of coaching.
Yep.
As opposed to just coming in and say, you must do it this way. You must do it the same every time, because that doesn't give them a coaching experience. So we'll go in and one of the first things we do is we make leadership clean the production area, clean the whole line. And then we put in an auditing process against that cleaning standard where management is doing the audit. This way they get out on the floor and they talk to people.
Mm.
But through that whole process, we are coaching the operators of what defects look like and why it's important to clean the fins on a motor and why it's important to have a breather on a gearbox. And we're coaching maintenance and operations.
Sure.
We'll allow them to make minor mistakes in that whole process because they give us coaching moments. We just make sure we know which ones they're going to be.
Yeah. I think it's fascinating. I mean, you can look at a lot of companies and not understand, like, why don't you get this? Like we were on a shop floor one time and we were walking across, they had, the tape on the floor for the forklifts, and it was an automated forklift. And at every intersection inside the shop, there was like a train gate almost, right? Oh no, it wasn't the train gate at this one. It was a little chain that you had to unhook. And before you unhook the chain, you had to stop, look both ways, and like signal first down. And then you can walk across and put the chain back. And everybody did it at every single intersection crosswalk area in the plant. And I said, man, this is fascinating. Like, I don't understand. Like, how do they get you guys to do this? I don't understand. Like, I think it's mind-boggling to me because, and at the time this was an issue. I said, we can't get people to fill out timesheets correctly and put like 6 numbers down and what time they started on, what time they stopped.
Yep.
We can't get them to turn them in at the end of the day.
But it's leadership. I mean, it's a leadership issue at the end of the day, right?
Yeah. And I said, how do you get people to stop, signal first down, and then go? He said, oh, it's really easy. If we don't do it, we get fired.
Period. Look, as extreme as that may sound, one of my mentors in life, a gentleman named Pete DeRocco, was the site director for a plant for Bristol Myers Squibb when I worked for BMS. And the plant he was the site director at had a terrible safety record, and it was a big campus style facility, so trucks moving on the roads all the time. And as soon as he got there, he said, that's it. We're changing a safety culture, period. We're going to start with how people drive on the roads. They're going to stop signs. They're going to follow the speed limit. And that's the end of it. Man, he started telling anyone, if you were an employee and did that, you were no longer allowed to park on site. You had to go find parking and walk in. If you were a contractor, you were thrown off site, period. Wow. And in 6 months, no longer an issue. Everybody used the sidewalks appropriately. Everybody used the crosswalks appropriately. Everybody was driving appropriately. It just takes accountability. And first it takes an expectation.
Sure.
Leadership's role is to set an expectation for people to follow.
Yeah.
Then you have to prove that that expectation has accountability and is real. And that only happens through your actions as a leader. How well can you influence that? And in some cases, that may require an extreme action. That's just the way it goes. We had a brand new pump installed, and 9 months later it fouled. And when we opened it up, it was dry as a bone. And there were 3 PMs that said, I lubed it. Oh. That individual was walked off site during lunch.
Well, yeah, because you're filling out a chart that said that you did something you didn't do.
Right. You falsified records in a pharmaceutical plant. You're not allowed to do that.
Yeah. I mean, there's gotta be punishment for that.
Yeah. But it's about setting an expectation, and nobody wants to go to that extreme and impact somebody's life. And I'm not suggesting that that's the best methodology, the only methodology you can use to instill an expectation and a behavior. Positive experiences work just as well, but they take longer.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think you're right. I think sometimes I think positive experiences work just as well, but sometimes what I found is, what at one time is miraculous becomes mundane. So, you give the positive experience, and then that positive experience now becomes expected. It's now the norm. Yes. And you have to come up with a new level of positive experience.
Yes.
Because we have short-term memories where we forget that positive experience didn't always exist. That's right.
And like you said, mundane is an interesting way to describe those things. We had a line. This is a true story. We had a line we were working on, and we essentially increased it from, I'll say it was like 14 units a minute to about 31 units a minute. We doubled this line's output.
Okay.
And I get a phone call from the CEO. She calls me up. She says, "We got to go have dinner. I'm hearing that you're slowing my line down." I'm like,
Oh,
"You slowing your line down? Why would I slow your line? I'm literally on the hook for improving its performance." So we go out,
right.
and she's trying to explain to me that the line is slower. I'm going, "I don't understand that. Like something's not right. Like we're improving. The numbers clearly show it." She says, "Well, when I was sitting there talking, the folks were telling me the line is slow, and it clicked on me. English wasn't their first language. What it
Hmm.
meant was they were bored. They used to run around like chickens with their heads cut off trying to keep this
Mm.
line running. And now, even though it's running at twice the output, they're just going, feeding my little pieces that I got to feed. And that's it." And
Right.
so like the line feels slow. Like that's the ultimate compliment for what we do. Our job is to make people's jobs easier, right? I want board operators and I want maintenance people reading books.
Yes. Well, that's a great way to look at it because the job is getting done,
Yep.
right? You don't need emergencies and catastrophes all the time to justify people's existence and employment.
You can get to a zero breakdown strategy. No doubt. You can absolutely get there.
Yeah. So I like what you're saying that it starts with the leadership side of things, and that gives me my own level of accountability that I have to take care of. And we've had conversations about how do you get people to fill out timesheets correctly? What does that look like? And this is less of a problem now. We've addressed it a number of ways. Um, One of the ways that did not work was the manager would get the timesheets, and if they noticed that something was wrong, they would go in and just change them themselves. And if they're not there for the day and somebody else has to take over, well, then all the issues come piling out because it's never been solved. It's never been fixed. It's been
Right.
swept under the rug.
You've addressed the symptom to make a KPI look green. That's not
Right.
solving a problem.
Right. And there it is. It's that underlying thing, right? Like, how do we get this to be the right solution so it's actually fixed?
Yes. Yeah.
I
I think for us, you are very early in the conversation talked about making manufacturing fun.
yeah.
And I think the way that you can do one of the ways you can do that is kind of gamify the day, right? There's put in reward and recognition systems that reward behaviors, not outcomes,
Okay.
and are not reliant on just somebody else saying that you did a good job on a piece of paper, but the performance of your job meaning something at a small level, right? You doing the repetitive things and having the discipline to do things. If I never have to look at you, you're doing fantastic. If the line's never breaking down, maintenance is great. I don't want to celebrate when they had to show up on Sunday afternoon and work 4 hours of double time in order to fix a problem that we should have known about long in advance.
Sure.
We want to reward those behaviors, and if you can reward behaviors, then you stand a fighting chance.
So those behaviors, I'm assuming, are those the consistent, easy, mundane things that allow your job to go smoothly.
Right. Every process is made up of a bunch of steps that are behaviors.
Okay.
Did I fill out my timesheet right? Is a precursor behavior to everybody getting paid accurately.
Absolutely.
Right. And the time and effort and labor cost to make that happen versus going and refixing things later. And so you want to measure that individualized behavior, which is are they doing it each and every day? Because if they're trying to do it at the end of the 40-hour week and remember everything,
Oh, it's the worst.
that becomes hard, right? So
Even the next day doesn't work. You don't remember what you did the day before, especially hour by hour. Get out of here.
Right, exactly. So you've got to be able to afford them the time to do it appropriately and the reminder to do it appropriately, and you measure whether or not it's hitting those marks. So, yeah, interesting. Everything for me is interesting when it's process and measurement related and most importantly, human related, because we can buy all the machines we want. The success of their delivery is still dependent on humans.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And if you can train people to trust the process, feel free to bring up questions about the process, because there's nothing saying the process can't be improved.
That's right.
And so we just have to keep an open mind in what that looks like. and then make sure that everybody's doing the same process across the board. Because then right? Like if you try it in this one area and it's working, I'm not saying implement it in everything all at once. Try it. If it works, then implement it.
That's right. You bought the equipment to do this. Anything below that is because of something we're doing or not doing.
Yeah.
And so that's what we have to look at.
I think that's a really simple way to put that, right? Like you bought this thing, you know how much it's supposed to do. If it's not doing that, there's a problem.
That's right. And it's us. It's the human pieces that cause all that.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, unless it was manufactured with a defect and you have a warranty claim.
Sure. Which happens, right? It happens.
Doing it, like we'll give you an example in the packaging world. Oftentimes, like marketing and sales will alter the package from what the OEM recommends because, well, they just want to stand out on the shelf. So they'll use a package that uses a printing color that is thicker, thinner, shinier, more porous, whatever the case may be, than what the manufacturer recommends. And so they're having problems in the equipment and they can't get the same performance out, right? And you're going, well, you did what the OEM told you not to do. Like, if you want the performance, you got to stick within the box and confines of the design of the asset that you purchased. And anything you do outside of that, you got to live with. So you decided to have a lower rate. Like, I don't know what to tell you.
It's almost like the person who created the thing knows how it's supposed to work and function.
Imagine that.
I mean, what a novel idea.
Yes.
And if it's not working properly, there's a good chance that you're not using it properly, that you're going against what the creator or the manufacturer said you're supposed to do, the right way to live in that area.
You look at some of this high-speed equipment has to have incredible precision.
Yeah.
And in the manufacturing space, we're often saying, well, what do you mean it takes 2 hours to PM that? Get it done in an hour. So we can't put it back with the same level of precision that it's supposed to be put back with. We can't use lasers. We don't have time to use alignment tools. We don't have time to take measurements. We're just putting it back together.
Yeah.
And then we struggle to have performance. And what happens? They'll say, well, now you only get a half hour. They don't solve the problem and double the output in the 7 hours a shift you could have run.
Right.
They cut it even faster or say changeover now has to be 10 minutes because we're losing units a day. That is the opposite of what you should be doing right now. You need to go back after the units per minute that you're losing, not after the units per day. And they miss the boat. They just miss it completely. Oftentimes we go into plants and extend changeover and inspection processes and see way more units a day than the plant was seeing as they reduce that time. And
it makes perfect sense. If you pause for a second, it makes perfect sense on why that is the reality. Because you're making sure that it's done right the first time, right?
Yes.
My father was notorious for saying, if you don't have time to do it right, what makes you think you have time to do it again?
Right. I love it. I absolutely love it. Yeah, yes, very much so.
We in the past, a lot of these things have been solved. So I'm glad to share past headaches and issues because they're fixed. But we've had people in the past, they don't work for us anymore in the past, rushing to get a job out to a customer because it needed to be on their floor that day. And we go, is it right? Well, they need it. That's not the question that we asked. Is it right? Well, we don't have time to do it right. We do have time to do it right. Like I will call the customer and say, hey, Mr. Customer, I know that you said you need this today. We noticed a couple things. We would like to do this the right way for you. Can we have an extra day?
Yeah.
9 times out of 10, they're going to say yes, because they know if it's not right, they may be able to get some parts, but it's still going to have to come out. It's still going to either have to come to us or their tool room again. And then it's going to have to get worked on all over again. And you're going to be back at square one instead of just saying, yeah, well, it's a part. Take that extra day, get it done, get it right, get it back over to us. It's so much easier.
Silly choices are made all the time for quick wins that really aren't quick wins.
Yeah.
We've got another client that renegotiated their transportation contract.
Okay.
and they squeezed the transportation contract. And then they started missing on time and in full. Well, if you are the lowest paying customer and I'm a trucking company and I got short staffed today, guess which company's deliveries I'm missing? Like it's just common sense. If I run my business and you're the one that squeezed me, you are the lowest person on the totem pole.
Yeah.
So if I have to make a decision between company A and company B, not making their delivery because I have a truck driver that called out, guess who's not getting delivered? So, things have to be a win-win, and you've got to don't get me wrong. You got to make economic choices where you're trying to be optimal.
Yes.
But you also have to understand there are consequences to your attempt to do that with other vendors.
Yes.
The vendors still have to answer to their own boards, and they still have to answer to their own financial projections, and they still have to answer to their own decision making, right? And the same way in that same exact plant, if you're running behind in production, you don't miss Costco or Walmart. You miss, Joe's convenience shop in the product you produce. So does the shipping company.
Right.
Same choice.
Well, we all have that, right? You would much rather, everybody has those two vendors, right? The vendor that says, listen, we're not trying to nickel and dime you to death, or the customer even that says, we're not trying to nickel and dime you to death. We need you and we want you to stay in business. Be fair, right?
Yep.
That's great. Or you have the other guy that's like, can't you sharpen your pencil a little bit? Can't you give me a faster deadline and sharpen your pencil a little bit? And we all do it. We'll bend over backwards for that person when we can.
Contract where I ding you if you miss, one thing, 1 minute, like crazy stuff. Yeah.
And you go, all right, well then you don't value who we are as a company.
Yeah.
And we can't do work with you anymore. It's just the way it is. We, we had a customer a while back and they would ask us to come pick up the tool, pick it up. They wouldn't know what was wrong with it. This was for PMs and mold repair. They wouldn't know what was wrong with the tool. So they would have us come pick it up. They're about an hour away. So we go pick it up, bring it in, disassemble it, analyze it, figure out what's going on with the tool, give them a quote to fix it, and then wait for them to have a response. And sometimes they go, no, I don't want to pay for that. Just bring it back. Okay. So then you close the tool, you put it back on the truck. You already told them what's wrong with it. It goes back. Now you got to drive it over there an hour. And when I approached them and said, listen, this isn't working, right? We can do this for you, but we're going to have to put in an assessment fee.
Yep.
And what that's going to look like is we will pick up your tool. We'll bring it into our shop. We will do a full assessment and we will write out everything that we think needs to happen to it.
Yep.
We'll give that back to you. If you decide that you want to do it and it's going to cost this amount. If you decide you want to do it, we'll apply it towards the cost of the job. If you don't, you have everything that you know you need to do to this tool. You can do it yourself or you can have somebody else do it and we'll bring it back. No harm, no foul. And they said, you're going to charge me for quoting my jobs? I said,
we're already sending out an RFP to fix the last 10.
Yeah. I said, no, we're not going to charge you for the quote. We're going to put together an assessment fee because clearly there's something wrong that you need to have fixed with this tool. We'll tell you exactly what it is, but I can't do that for nothing.
You're doing that for free.
I can't.
Nope. That makes perfect business sense to me. I don't know. I think everyone is always on the hook for cut. Again, this gets back to there's an optimal performance of the plant and a profitability that the plant can achieve. Is anyone actually doing the math and figuring it out? Or are they just arbitrarily saying cut? Because eventually you cut too deep.
Yeah. I did a presentation one time. We were talking about presentations before. It was like the math of maintenance. And, somebody has a 24 cavity tool and only 12 are working. What is the cost? And what is the value of getting that fixed? What is the value of having a preventative maintenance program on that versus just the emergency of getting that fixed? And how much are you making every time it opens and closes. If you're at like, it was designed to run at full cavitation with 24 cavities, 24 parts being made at a time every time it opens and closes. Well, if you have to go down to 12 and now you're,
You're the same, so you got squeeze out all over the place. You got
yeah,
all kinds of things happening. Yeah.
and now you have to maybe slow down the machine and like everything is slowing down, but you feel like I can't take it out of the press because we need parts. So we're just going to ride out this 12 as long as we can unless it becomes 9, where if you would just like stop,
Yeah.
pause, get it fixed, you would more than make up those parts in a few days because you're going to be running at your optimal speed and efficiency.
Yeah, and I mean, that happens the same way on, taking it out for polishing versus
Yes.
waiting till everything is burned, and I now have to do all kinds of cavity work. And instead of doing the PM, they'll just keep running until it's to a point where, you're sending the mold out and you're doing dips and you're doing all kinds of things that you may have not had to do if you just polished your cavities and properly and kept going, right? So,
And you see it with maintenance everywhere, and you rarely neglect it in other areas, right? Like most people go to the dentist on a regular occasion for a cleaning, for preventative maintenance, right? Like they go in for a cleaning, they go in for a fluoride treatment,
yeah,
whatever that looks like. It's your PM. You schedule it in advance. You know how long it's going to take. You know how much it's going to cost. You're in, you're out. It's pretty painless,
yeah.
and your mouth feels minty fresh. On the other side, you don't do those things because you don't have the time to go to the dentist and you end up with a root canal. Well, now it's a lot more expensive. It's painful for you, like really painful.
Yeah.
You're going to be out much longer, and now it's an emergency, and you can't sleep, and it's miserable. If you just take
Problem
care
is
of the
it's
things
too
you need to take
easy
care
to
of, you're in good
justify.
shape.
The
What's that?
trouble is in manufacturing, that's too easy to justify.
Yeah.
Too easy. It is far too easy for a plant manager, somebody in leadership to look at the maintenance person that they didn't allow to do the PMs and go, why did we have that 4-hour event? And they go, gearbox failed. And that's the end of it. They go up management and they go, hey, well, gearbox failed. We took the money out of the slush fund we keep for all the failures and we fixed the gearbox.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, the gearbox should never fail. You should have breathers on it. You should be using filtered lubricant. You should be taking readings off of it with ultrasound or vibration so that you know far in advance that this thing's going and you can take it out and replace it when it's convenient for the operation. It's way too easy for people to say, well, it just failed. So the root cause analysis, but it failed. We've replaced it. That's the end. Well, that's not the end because you should have never had the operational downtime. And it's just too easy to explain away inadequacies.
Yeah.
And just sheer incompetence of having a strategy.
A lack of a strategy.
Yeah.
It's hard. It's hard. So let's give people a takeaway. What is the thing that they need to do when they're looking at themselves in the mirror and looking at their organization in the mirror before they go like, do I need to call George? Do I need to call ReliabilityX because I'm having these issues? Not telling you to like tell people how not to call you. But what's the thing that people should do before they call George?
They should know their business inside and out. They should know from finance what the cost of a minute of downtime is everywhere in the plant. And they should be able to understand design rate, find the engineers, find how it was designed, find what the actual design rate of your equipment is. Somewhere between today's performance and that design rate is what the opportunity is. And start doing the math on the opportunity. Everywhere there's a problem, it's losses. And those losses, people are getting paid to create them and they cost money.
Yeah. I like that. What'd you say? Everywhere there is
losses,
there's an opportunity.
Yep.
I like that. That's worth the price of admission right there. And it's true. I mean, if everything is running optimally, you're not going to shave anything. You're not going to find any more.
Right. Yeah, no doubt.
Alex Bolin says, take us to church, George. They should know their business inside and out. And it's amazing how many people don't don't fully get that.
And finance sometimes doesn't want to even offer it.
Hmm.
Or they don't even know it. I've been in places where they just take the entire cost of running the plant and they sprinkle it everywhere. It's just even. So how do I know where the opportunity is if it's evenly distributed?
Sure.
That makes it really, really tough.
Yeah.
Those types of plants where the finances like that make it really tough to get down to where is the actual opportunity.
Yeah. We were, so in our business, we do, you heard mold makers that don't build molds, right? We have all those things. And, um, for the last, I would say, year and a half, while, industry has been weird, with, political environment and tariffs and offshore and this and that and the other thing, the polishing department has been slow. It's just a reality. People are not making as many tools stateside as they were. I wish they were. I hope it comes back. I hope it bounces back. It would be great. But our polishing department has been slow. And we as a company continue to hit our sales goals, which is great, within all the other departments. And I was talking with some people and they said, well, why is it such a big deal if the polishing department is slow? We're still hitting our goals as a company. Isn't that a good thing? And I thought, yes, it's a very good thing.
Luckily.
Yeah.
Wait,
right.
Luckily, that was a good thing. But sometimes you can't eat that.
Yeah. Well, and then there's two different sides to that too, right? We need, and I explained it. I said, we need the polishing department numbers to be where the polishing department numbers are because we have a large polishing department.
Yeah.
And in order to keep everybody and allow them to work 40 hours, 45 hours, so that they can provide for their families, this is the amount of work that we need to bring in. It's not like so I can be rich. I'm far from that. It's so that we can continue to take care of all the people in that department. I can't give them extra hours because Hot Runner is busy.
Right.
And if they need to be able to make a good living, then we know how much work needs to come in to be able to do all of that for everybody to have success. And so those numbers can't change.
And the
other
polishing department is a leading indicator to the other areas.
Sure.
Because a lot of times, hey, I need my cavities polished. That's an early thing. That's not the everything's broke thing. So it could be a leading indicator to things to come, right? And you want to make sure you're staying on top of that.
And I said the other part of it is, if you are a sports team, I like to look at things as sports teams because I feel like a lot of people can relate to it. Which sports teams?
Yeah.
I mean, the Bears are not good right now. So we can look at that. There's plenty of inefficiencies there. I mean, we don't have to get started. It's better than last year, but it's still not good. That game was awful. But
it didn't even know they played.
Yeah, well, yeah, I don't believe you, but we can use any of them, right? When you look at hockey, if you want, look at whatever position, whatever sport you think of at that time. If you're winning a bunch of hockey games, but you're winning because you're scoring a lot of goals and your goaltender sucks, right? Like you're winning 6-5
2 years in a row.
Yeah. You're winning 6-5 every game. You're happy that you're winning, but you're still trying to get better.
That's right.
You still need more out of every department, out of every position, out of every person so that you have overall success. You're not going to win multiple championships 6-5, 7-4. You have to be able to play and have everybody contribute in the way and the manner that they need to go and contribute.
Yeah. I think that's a great analogy because in my opinion, it's exactly what happened the last 2 years. I think Edmonton has a mediocre goalie and they're incredible in offense, right? And so it's exactly what you see. And
Connor McDavid can only do so much.
That's exactly right. I mean, you've got to have a whole team. Yeah. But your plant takes the same thing, man. It takes everybody doing what their function is expected to do at the level it's expected to do it. Reliability is holistic. It's everybody's job.
Yes. Everybody has to be rowing in the same direction. Everybody has to want to win together as a team. And you have to look at what the championship is, right? Like for me, I look at it like the championship for us is, did we hit our yearly goal? And did every position succeed in that, right? Like, players get bonuses based on their individual contribution to the overall good of the team. I'm sure they get a bonus when they win the Stanley Cup. They get a ring, they get all the stuff. But there's also bonuses along the way for individual contribution to the overall goal of winning the championship. And if everybody's doing their job, that championship actually becomes a reality.
Like the Eagles.
Yes. Yes. Just like the Eagles.
I'm a Philly boy. Sorry.
No, it's fine. It's fine. Listen, Saquon's awesome. Oh, he's on the Jets now, isn't he?
Good franchise.
Is he on the? No, he's on the Eagles still.
No, he's on the Eagles. Yeah.
But it's not, again, it's not rocket science. Like, everybody plays Monday morning quarterback, and they can tell you what's wrong with their team and somebody else's team and whatever this looks like, right? You could point all that out.
Yeah.
But when it's your own company and it's your own stuff, then you don't want to take those same things that you recognize and apply it when you know the solution.
Well, hard work is hard work. It's easy to be a critic.
Yeah.
It's easy. That's why cut cost is also a goal, because it's easy to be a critic. It's hard to put in hard work to make you profitable.
Mm-hmm.
So it's much easier to be a critic than it is to do the work.
Yeah, absolutely. And nobody wants to be a self-critic.
1000%.
It's not my department. It's that guy. You should look at that guy. That guy's not doing anything.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
we have this premise that we teach called "It's not you, but it's you." Like, if you're having trouble, as a leader communicating to your people, it's not because your people don't listen. It's because you haven't figured out how to engage them properly. So it's not you, but it's you.
That's
if
true.
You're a maintenance manager and you're struggling to get approval to do the PMs for the length of time it takes to do them right, it's not you, but it's you. It's not your manager's fault. You haven't figured out how to communicate it effectively enough for your manager to give you the time. So everybody has to self-reflect.
Yeah. And it has to flow uphill, right? It goes up, right?
Yeah.
And ultimately, if you're the owner, you're the lead, it's your fault if it doesn't get better. Now, if it goes wrong once or twice, stuff happens. It's that ongoing, continuous problem that we gotta rectify.
Yeah, exactly.
My daughter says that when she's not mean, I swear she's not mean. I love her. She said she wants to date somebody sometime, and when she breaks up with them, she's gonna say, "You know how they say it's not you, it's me? It's totally you."
Right. Yeah. It's not you, but it's you.
All right, let's do some quick 5 questions, because those are always fun.
Okay.
If you could make one rule that everyone had to follow, what would that rule be?
20% of your pay comes to me.
Oh, hey, I've never heard that one before. That's great.
Throw it out there. I mean, if you're going to throw out a question.
and you answered that quick. I mean,
it sounds easy. Everybody on the planet gives me 20%. I'm a happy guy.
You're not even going with the 10% tithe. You upped it 20%. You want more than God. That's crazy. All right, that's a good one. Question number 2. What is the one thing that you're superstitious about?
So I was an ice hockey goalie, so that means you're super.
Oh, you got problems. I know that. I should have known that.
Everything.
Yeah.
Everything. Oh, wow. I had the same headband I couldn't even tell you how long to keep the sweat out of my eyes. That thing was ripe.
Yeah.
I think I'm superstitious about just generally breaking routine. And I don't mean like to a point of OCD, but I'm a very repetitive comfort zone individual. Going outside of my comfort zone, I have to do all the time. And so it's not really a problem, but I'm a superstitious guy when the routine breaks.
Sure.
I don't like when the routine breaks.
No, it's funny that you said hockey goalie, because when I played hockey, that's where I developed my issue, where I always have to put my right sock on first, and then my left sock, and then my right shoe, and then my left shoe.
That's not a thing for everybody.
I know that's crazy, right?
Could be a thing for everybody.
If I pick up my left shoe, I put it down. I pick up my right shoe. It goes in that order. It's just better.
A sequence of operation. I don't disagree with that one bit.
It makes me feel better. All right. Question 3. If you swapped genders for the day, how would you spend your time?
This is a adult program.
Yeah.
That's interesting. I don't think I would do anything different. My passion is reliability. I don't think that would change just because a gender changed.
All right. I like that. Good. Good answer. Question number 4. If animals could talk, what would be the rudest and why?
Huh. What would be the rudest animal? That's interesting. A corgi.
It's those little legs, isn't it?
You know what? We have a corgi and we also have a gigantic German Shepherd. I mean, I have a German Shepherd that's 135 pounds.
Oh my gosh.
Big boy. And the corgi is just bullies, just absolutely bullies the German Shepherd. Bites his paws and it's pretty rude though. Just takes his toys because he has them. Not because the corgi wanted the toy, but because Ethan had the toy. So I got to have it now.
Now, would you say that is a ownership problem? Is that a leadership problem?
Leadership problem.
Yeah.
Absolutely. We have not spent enough time making sure that corgi does. Everything's a leadership issue. So yes, I've decided to prioritize other work activities ahead of training the corgi not to take his toy.
Yeah, it's not the corgi's fault.
I agree.
Oh man. All right. And the last one. How many kindergarten kids could you take in a fight before you were outnumbered?
Oh, a lot. Wow. Can I say I wouldn't fight a bunch of kindergarten kids? But am I in kindergarten at the time? Or
no, you're an adult. It's kind of like that old Stephen King movie, Pet Sematary. You know, maybe like Gage is back from the dead. A bunch of little kids coming at you, and
I mean, they can only get so many. That's one deep.
I understand.
You know what I mean? As long as you can take one deep, you're good.
Yeah,
because then you're just getting rid of layers.
Yeah, until you're tired.
You know, at my age, I can last whatever the number of 10 minutes is.
It's a similar question to how can 100 people fight a gorilla? You know, like it's a similar kind of a question. And I think over time, sure, but somebody's got to go first.
Right. And that person is
dead.
Yeah. And they're not going in, right? But they're brave. So yeah.
Stupid is the correct answer. They're stupid. All right. So a lot, as many as that could fit through the door in 10 minutes.
Yeah. 10 minutes. And then I'm going to be winded. I need a break and,
yeah.
Drink at that point. I'm going to feel bad and crying because I got all these kindergartners running around.
And then you have to play patty cake with them or rock, paper, scissors just to make them stop crying.
Yeah.
That'd be a good time. George, anything else that you want people to know, or how can people get a hold of you, and why should they get a hold of you?
They should get a hold of us because there's opportunity to improve plant performance and make your job easier. Most importantly, make the shop floor job easy. That's what we do. You can reach us at our website, ReliabilityX.com. You can email us at ask@ReliabilityX.com. You can pick up the phone and dial 877-RLBLTYX. And we're going to be all over the place. We'll be at the SMRP conference coming up. We'll be down in North Carolina in October and November and early December for some manufacturing things that we're partnering with Streamline with. And we'll also be in 2 weeks, I'll be keynote address at the RPM Symposium held by HECO in Detroit.
Awesome. And we connected on LinkedIn. So there's another place that you can connect and get a quick chat in. So before we go, we always say a quick prayer. Is there anything that you would like to add for prayer requests?
I had an aunt pass away actually like a week and a half ago. So I'd like her family to be in our request.
You got it. All right, let's pray. Heavenly Father, thank you for today. Thank you for this opportunity to talk with George and talk about reliability and listening to the creator to find out how things work best. This is why we come and we talk to you, because you are a creator and you know how we work best, and you know what we were made for, and you know our purpose, and you know our identity, and you know how we will have the most success. And that's putting our trust and faith and hope in you. And so we just pray for families that are struggling with the loss of loved ones or sickness or finances or whatever that looks like, that people wouldn't run from you, but they would run to you. We pray for Brian Warren and Jake and Marcia and the whole Warren family as they are continuing to struggle with medical things happening with Jake. We just pray that you would continue to heal his little body, and that you would continue to put the right doctors and staff in place to be your hands and feet. We pray that his story would continue to grow on LinkedIn, and more people would be opening their hearts to you, and he would get the treatment and the help that he needs, and that you would be glorified through all of it. And we pray all of these things in your name. Amen.
Amen.
George, my friend, thank you. I appreciated getting to talk to you today and hear what you have going on and what you're all about. Hopefully we can run into each other in person sometime and keep the story going.
Tony, thank you so much for giving me an opportunity to speak with you. It's been an absolute pleasure, and I look forward to learning more about you.
All right, let's do it, buddy. Have a good one. I appreciate you. Stay in touch.
All right, take care.
All right, bye. Well, that was my new friend, George Williams from ReliabilityX. Great guy. I hope you enjoyed that conversation. I think that, reliability is one of those things that people cherish, right? You want a reliable car, you want a reliable friend, you want a reliable program, reliability is a good thing. It's consistency. It's something that you can trust. And we need to be that for each other as well. So I hope that you found this interesting program. That sounds lame. I hope you enjoyed the show and the conversation. I hope that you found some meaning and some value to that. If you did, I would love it if you could share it, like it, pass it on to somebody else. We want to continue to tell the stories of U.S. manufacturers, because it's important and it matters. This country was built on manufacturing. It's not going away anytime soon. We are all hiring. We are all looking for competent, curious people that want jobs, that want to work hard, that want to do more. So if that fits you, then call a manufacturing company. I'm sure that they're hiring, and it's going to be beneficial for you and for them. So I think I've talked enough today. So on behalf of myself and George and Alliance and ReliabilityX, thank you for watching and listening. Take care and God bless.